What is statistic? Common uses, numerical facts. Second meaning, a group of methods used to collect, analyze, present, and interpret data and to make decisions. And I have two major types of statistic, descriptive and inferential. Descriptive statistic consists of strategies for organizing and summarizing information, include the development of graphs, charts, and tables, and the creation of different graphic measures such as midpoint, measures of variety, and percentiles. Next, inferential statistic consists of method for drawing and measuring the reliability of the conclusion about a population based on information obtained from a sample of the population. What is population and what is sample? Which is mean population the collection of all individual or item under consideration in statistic study. For example, all people living in the UK. Next, what is sample? Sample that part of population from which information is obtained. For example, some people living in Dubai.
Now, I'm going to explain what is surveys. Survey is the collection of information from the elements of a population of a sample. For example, there is two types of surveys, which are census survey and sample survey. Census survey includes every member of the population. It means that the data about all individual units are collected in the surveys. For sample survey, it is a survey conducted on a sample. The samples are selected from a target population. A sample may be random or non-random, so what is the difference between both of them? For random sample, each element of the population has a chance for being selected. Next, non-random sample is a survey conducted in the condition that some members of the population may not have the chance for being selected in the sample. Now, I will introduce the simple random sampling. It is a sampling procedure for which each possible sample of a given size is equally likely to be the one attempted. It means every single member has an equal chance to be selected in the sample. There are also two types of simple random sampling, which are simple random sampling without replacement. When it is replacement, a member of the population can be selected more than once. When it is without replacement, a member of the population can be selected at most once. That's all for my part. I will pass the presentation to another partner.
Variable, a characteristic that varies from one person or thing to another. Data, values of a variable. Variable of data can be categorized into two, which are qualitative and quantitative. It can be called as quantitative variable or quantitative data. Qualitative variable is non-numerically valued variable, whereas quantitative variable is numerically valued variable. There are two types of quantitative variable or data, which are discrete and continuous. Discrete means that possible value can be listed, and continuous means possible value from some interval of numbers, or in another word is called integers number. Their full name can be called as discrete qualitative variable or continuous quantitative data. Examples for qualitative variable can be eye color, hair color, gender, while the discrete quantitative variable can be the number of students, number of cases, and the continuous quantitative variable can be the height, time, or weight.
Source of data. Accurate data is important to ensure the reliable result in order to make a correct decision. Source of data can be divided to three types, which is internal source, external source, survey experiment. The example of internal source is company's personal file or accounting records. For the external source can be in form of primary or secondary. Next, survey and experiment. Survey experiment is not available internally or externally. Now, I will explain more about survey and experiment. Survey, a method of collecting data, do not exercise any control over the factors, show association. For example, the amount spent on clothes by individual in the campus. Next, experiment. Experiment is the exercise control over some factors, can help establish causation. For example, folic acid and birth defects. After my explanation, I hope that you all can understand what is source of data. That's all from me. Thank you.
Sample survey and sampling technique. Why we need sample? Because it saves time, reduce cost and impossibility of conducting census. There are two types of sample, which is random and not random. Next, I will talk about random sampling technique. First is simple random sampling. Each member of the population has the same chance of being included in the sample. For example, all individuals in the defined population have an equal and independent chance of being selected for the sample. Second is systematic random sampling, which select one member from the first K unit. For example, individuals are selected from a list by taking every 10th name. Third is stratified random sampling, which select a sample when the population is segmented into groups or sections called stratification or strata. For example, divide the student population with respect to majors and randomly select and question some students in each major. Lastly is cluster sampling, which divide population in group geographical called cluster. Select randomly cluster and then select randomly samples from the chosen cluster. For example, in a study of opinions of smokers across the country, a number of towns are selected and a significant number of smokers are interviewed in each one. That's all from me. Thank you.